Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. And a gentleman, he's actually a chaplain for the Wyoming Highway Department, asked me how to do this in black and white. And I just got it today, and I wasn't gonna. I've been gone all day, and I'm just late. Need to go to bed, and I started looking at it. It's going to be a little easier than I thought. So I just searched on the internet Wyoming Highway Patrol badge, uh, and this came up. Now, this is totally different, but this is all I need. That's all I needed. So I right clicked and made a copy of it, brought it into Corel, pasted it. It's not a complete badge, but I don't need a complete badge. And if you will click on your item when you're cropping, then everything else out on your page does not go away. And that's all I needed. And then I actually traced it, bitmapped it, and it came out really good. And I'm not going to go through those steps. But that's all I needed because that's that flower, but it's so pixelized. Everything else could be reproduced. I mean, I don't know how much he wants to scroll, and I might have to make 2 videos, but I'm going to at least get one to get him started. So we need to rotate this thing or figure out how to get this thing in there, and that's about right. Let's make it a little larger. And I'm just showing him how to do this so he can critique it more when he does it. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to group this together. Control G. I'm going to put it in the center of the page. So I need to move his badge out of the way. And I'm going to put this in the center of the page by hitting P. Now I can ungroup it. Then I can take this. Let me zoom in. I really was not going to do this tonight, but I thought when I found that other clip art, Control D and make a duplicate of it. Make sure we did, and we put it back. Rotate it, and then put this thing in the center of the page. Now this is a 7-sided star, and 7 really doesn't divide into 360. But I'm going to try this. I'm going to go 360 divided by 7, and it worked because it gave me the rounded off part. Control D. Now it's a little bit off, but we could kind of critique that. Let's take that one, kind of maybe move it back just a hair. And I did not look if these things were, different patterns, because it's kind of hard to tell by this clip art if the leaves are coming out and going this way on some of them, and it looks like they are. And so the person I'm doing this for, you could play around with that. And let's zoom in here, and even though some of these are going to be covered up, so let's go Control D, and I don't think I can still use my problem anymore, but we're just going to get it close. Control D again, Control D again, and see it's a little bit off. And Control D again. Then not only is it a little bit off, it's a little bit inward. But anyway, that's at least going to get him started. Then let's bring the badge in and see what it looks like. And all we need is some circles. So this badge is the same size as that badge. So what I would do, and for instance, right now I'm going to group this together. Control G, just so we won't mess it up. I'm going to take an ellipse, and I'm going to put it on top of his badge. So it's not quite big enough. I'm going to hold down the shift button and make it grow. To about the size of his circle. That didn't work. And this is why I like working the center page. This is grouped so we can put it back. I don't think this will go in the center of the page because it's not really a centerable object, if there is such a word. Now let's change our nudge factor to something really low, 0.001. Grab our ellipse and just kind of move it up. And I think we're about the right size. Now we're going to take our badge and move it out of the way. Whenever you try to move it away from the picture, and now we can put this back. So now we've got an ellipse, and you can see how some of these are not correct. Now the person I'm doing this for, if you wanted it exactly like that, there is some, like a pebble finish. I'm going to lock the star. Go up to range, lock. That way I can't grab that star anymore. And I can get these. And I'm not going to do this for the, I'm not doing this for the person. He's going to do it. I'm just going to give him a guiding light how you would do this. So that's good enough. So then you have another circle that's quite a bit smaller. Control D and make a duplicate of that circle. Holding down the shift key and bringing it in. And it'd actually probably be better to have that badge on top there. And then it looks like there's another circle. So Control D and then just holding down the shift key. And then all you'd have to do is make this cross and grab your rectangle tool. And this is how I make crosses and try to match them up to the size of the cross. Let's zoom in here a little bit. That's pretty good. Control D and make a duplicate. And let's rotate it 90 degrees. And let's shorten it up. Put it on top there. Make it a little narrow. And then select that and hold down the shift, select that and weld it. So now you have your cross. Hit P, put it in the center page. It looks like it probably, because there's actually a nameplate down here that I didn't take it out. I just didn't want to use somebody's name. But text the path on highway patrol. The chaplain will be relatively easy. I would suggest leaving the cross real wood and turning this into a black. I was doing a video the other night and I had something like that. Then you could make these lines a little thicker and make them black to make them show up. Maybe 2 point scale with object in case we make it a different size, and then make them black. That looks pretty good. Maybe make this one not quite as thick. And I don't really know whether there's a line in. He actually has the badge in his hand, so he'll be able to tell more of what he needs. And when you're reproducing something in black and white, it doesn't really have to be perfect. So I'm going to go a little bit further, and we're going to put this highway patrol. So I would use this one. I'm going to Control D and just move it out of the way. Well, you know what? It's going to be better to nudge it out of the way, so let's put it back. You see, it's not in the center of the page. Let's change our nudge factor back to 2 inches or 1 inch. Control D and make a duplicate of that because we're going to want to nudge that back. Now we'll just type out, it's all caps, WYOMINGHIGH. I misspelled Wyoming. It's hard to look at the screen and type. Well, I'm not making excuses. I'm a bad typer and speller. And that looks almost like the right font. I would maybe make it a bold. And you've got to go all the way around so it's pretty long. And what I would do, I would make it a little bit, maybe make it a little bit taller, but a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to make a duplicate of that, Control D, just so I can get it back. Then I'm going to go, our text to path, and see we're too long. So let's just back up. Let's make it a little bit smaller, but we want it pretty big this way so we can stretch these letters. Text to path. And actually, we could actually make it a little bit bigger. No, that looks good. And then what I like about this is then go to Arrange, Group. Well, you got to select it all. Go to Arrange, Break Text Apart. Then you should be able to take and just nudge that over. And voila, it fits. Now you could still play with that before you did it to get it off this line. But if you remember, this line is just a line, and we can make it a little bit smaller by holding down the Shift key and drawing this arrow. That looks pretty good. Then you would just type in the person's name. And up here, I think I want to pause this video. I've gone far enough tonight. And then I'll show you how to put on this scroll. And I think we should be good to go. And anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.